listening to The Bradshaw Boys, a podcast where three relatively grown men binge the iconic HBO series Sex and the City. So dust off those DVDs and grab yourself a white wine or even a Cosmopolitan and settle in. Take it away, boys.
Welcome to the Bradshaw Boys, a podcast where three guys watch Sex and the City for the first time ever, mostly. I'm Cory Cavin.
My name is Jon Sieber.
And I'm Kevin James Doyle. And we're here with our special guest, Katie.
Hey. Tutrone.
I got so nervous.
Hi, Tutrone.
Really?
Is
no
it
one says
Is your last
that.
name Italian?
Yeah, it's Sicilian.
Katie, before we talk about your Sicilian, Italian island heritage, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
A little bit about myself. I like to say I'm a weather influencer.
Oh, wow. Okay. What does that mean?
Just kidding. I am a serious weather junkie.
Oh.
So my goal is to, someday be forecasting everyone's lives through the weather.
Okay.
Amazing.
I run a weather Instagram.
Okay.
That's how we found you through a friend, but your Instagram, which is very funny, and it's serious.
Seriously, cirrus, like the cloud.
like the cirrus clouds.
And then yesterday, because I only forecast yesterday's weather. Like, what else could be more relevant? Like, you're already at weather, so it's pretty relevant to begin with. And yeah.
When did you get like a news interest or a weather interest?
It was more the other way around. I got a weather interest through news.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of like news internships, and then I stumbled into the Weather Woman in Baltimore, and I was like, wow, this woman's amazing. I mean, she's making her own moving weather graphics. What's going on?
And they like nothing's there. They're just looking at the screen.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever done that?
It takes so much talent.
Really?
Oh yeah. And I mean, yeah, obviously it probably takes a day, but for me, it was really difficult. And it grew on me. And I was like, wow, I really do want to be like Jim Cantori. Do you know him?
We don't know.
I don't even know who Jim
I don't know why. He's the,
Is he on
Is he
the
New
Weather
York-
Channel?
Michael
he's like,
Jordan of
yeah,
weather?
he is the Michael Jordan of weather. He's
Really?
like the nation's storm chaser. No, the world's storm
We
chaser.
need to get Jim Cantori on the pod here.
I did look through your Instagram, some of your followers, and there's a few New York weather people that follow you.
I did also notice that myself the other night. I was kind of rattled because I was like, do I want them to see this parody? But yeah, I sometimes talk to some actual meteorologists who I think are really.
Are you very starstruck when you're talking to meteorologists?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because I mean, I'm so not one.
You ever meet Roker?
I did when I was like 5, and I have a VHS or whatever, VCR, of me going on like Good Morning America when I was like such a child.
So
to,
that's
like,
where it
crawl.
started. It didn't start in Baltimore.
No,
It
I
started when
didn't
you
feel
met- when you-
anything at that moment. Nothing was moving for me. I wanted to be like a beakeeper, so.
Oh, that's so
Oh,
funny.
yeah. My brother-in-law is a beekeeper.
Really?
He's the largest family owned.
We
He's
should
the largest.
keep these together.
We should. Me and you, or your brother-in-law, my brother-in-law and you.
Oh, your
Both.
brother-in-law
Yeah.
and I.
You guys should. I'm going up there this weekend.
Upstate New York, you said?
No, Connecticut. He's the largest family-owned beekeeping operation in all of Connecticut. Have you ever been to Stu Leonard's? It's like a upstate grocery store in New York.
No.
I feel like we've had this conversation.
I think we have had
before.
this. It's just me. Hey, listen, everybody, listen to the podcast right now. Go to fullbloomapiaries.com if you want to. If you want,
I'm
if you
gonna
want,
need to remember this.
if you want Queen, well, you can just listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
and it'll be on there.
That's a good point.
Hey, here's a good plug for it. You can subscribe to our Patreon. It's $5, and you get an episode, one extra episode. Every
It's a new
2 weeks.
episode every 2 weeks. Yeah.
Or if you go and do the bonus one, which is our Mr. Big, which is you just give us $100. We'll see if anyone ever does it. We're looking for
a big.
We will supply you with your sister's.
If you guys if someone becomes a Mr. Big Patreon, if you be our big, I will give you a squeezable skep which is like, it's like a honey bear, but it's twice the size of a
What?
honey bear. I'll mail you that of
Every
Connecticut wildflower honey.
I mean,
How many of
full
these
bloom
squeezable
apiaries.
skeps do you have? Because I see this blowing up. I see
I could
waking
get-
up tomorrow with hundreds of thousands of bigs.
I could get a lot. I'm in the back of my head now. I'm gonna have to give my brother-in-law I'm gonna have to give him some sort of like craft beer or some sort of. I'm gonna have to work this out with him, but we can make it work. It'll
All
be
right,
fine.
you heard it here first. Katie,
Also, if you need to buy queens,
yeah,
if you,
I mean,
if
I
you
don't know
need-
any queen producers, but that's really cool.
He's got queen. He sells queens for your hives.
How much does that go for?
A queen, I think, is $16, and he ships them live to your house.
How?
It's a whole deal. It's a whole. He
That's
puts them in-
amazing.
puts
I
them in
mean,
a
I've
little
never
plastic
gotten
cage.
queens. I've only gotten by the box.
If you need to
That's-
go
I have
queen
like
your
3
hive,
frames.
that's
yeah.
amazing.
In your apartment?
No,
Oh, okay.
God, my neighbor.
Wait,
would not
but
like
you
that.
so you've been a beekeeper before?
Uh-huh.
That's amazing.
I have them in Baltimore, and I had them at school. I was in a undergraduate beekeeping
What?
society.
So cool.
That's
oh, yeah.
incredible.
Bunch of wizards.
That's
it was
amazing.
cool.
It's like Max Fisher. I think he was in the Beekeepers Society.
Yeah.
in
Who's Max
Rushmore.
Fisher?
Rushmore. The
Oh
character
yeah,
from
yeah,
Rushmore.
yeah.
How did you first get in watching Sex and the City?
Well, I didn't because I haven't recently been watching Sex in the City.
No, like when you first.
When you
you've never
first-
seen it?
when
Oh, when I was like younger?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
your first time.
Oh
that
my
you were
God.
exposed to
Or
Sex
whatever
and the
your
City.
relationship
Yeah,
is
what's
to
your
it.
relationship to Sex and the City?
Okay, so my relationship with it is definitely watching random pieces of it here and there. Like, okay, for example, my friend was watching it yesterday and I was like, that's so funny. I'm like about to go talk about it with
Mhm.
a bunch of people who love Sex in the City. and she was like, yeah, like I'm just trying to live my life like them now.
Oh, your friend
Like
was?
the girls. I mean, they're definitely an inspiration for women
Yeah,
Were
do you
on the dating scene.
Yeah.
But for me, Broad City is more my inspiration.
Shout out to Broad City.
shout out
Yeah.
Broad City? Some people would say
Alana.
yeah.
So when you were younger and you first, like, how old were you when you first saw it? Were
Oh
you
my God.
like, were you beekeeping and watching Sex and the City at the same time? Is this later?
No, this was before beekeeping.
Okay.
I would say it was like 13.
Oh, so you were
Yeah, I was
you were
pretty
really
young.
Okay, and you think that shaped who you are now as a person? Did that make you want to move to New York?
No, it didn't make me want to live to New York.
Okay.
But I did think about, I guess, like when I was younger, like it was the first time like you really like hear that much about like women's sex lives.
Yeah.
And like, well, actually, no, I had because my dad's a urologist. So that's
Okay.
like in our, what am I talking about? But seeing it on TV,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this can't be real.
Did you guys have HBO growing up?
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I had to sneak over to friends' houses to watch HBO, or like on a trip or something. And
Yeah.
be like, oh my gosh! But I was always so jealous of the people. That
Shout
had
out to
HBO.
Kenny Flick, man. You know he had
Yeah.
HBO.
He had HBO.
I think it was mostly me watching it with other friends.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it wasn't really my style.
Well, if you live in, you said you live in Little Italy, right?
Yeah.
That's right by. Is that not Steve's Bar?
Yeah.
Steve's
that
Bar is
Steve's
close
Bar?
to there.
Steve's Bar.
The bar is called O'Neill's in real life,
You
right?
know O'Neill's. It's on.
It's on.
Is this featured in Sex and the City?
It is.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is,
Bar
yeah.
that
It's a
Steve
bar that
owns.
Steve owns, yeah. We haven't
Miranda-
gotten there yet, but we just know it happens.
It's on. It's not. I think it's below Grand Street. I think it's maybe it's
Okay.
on
Maybe
Grand.
it's on Grand.
I think it's
yeah.
on Grand.
It's
Yeah.
Miranda's soulmate.
I think I saw the episode I was watching yesterday was when she first meets Steve at the bar.
Ooh.
And he makes some comment about like
classic.
butch. I
Yeah.
think.
called her
Yeah, yeah.
such
Am I getting that right?
Well, yeah,
Pissa.
she's acting like a
Okay.
real
real
pissa.
pissa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bar. We went there for like a Cynthia Nixon campaign event.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I feel like it was pretty cool. She was a good sport about being like, I'll go to Steve's bar. I'll like do this.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah. They had a lot of people there.
all right. So
So
this is our season 3 finale.
Finale.
Wow.
yeah. Yeah.
Pressure. Am I allowed to say
No.
swear words?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can say whatever you,
can
want.
Say, you can say pressure. Don't say pressure though. We don't allow that.
You don't. Yeah.
We don't.
We
I
want
mean,
this to be
I
chill. There's
really-
no
I don't
pressure.
feel
There's no
pressure.
pressure on this podcast. No pressure.
The only thing I get is air pressure. But like that's always here.
There you go.
Which
There you
is what? That's how tornadoes start, right?
Yeah, low pressure system.
go.
Can
Yeah.
you provide us with the coolest weather fact that you know?
Oh shit.
There's some pressure.
Okay.
Okay. While you're
real
thinking,
life weather. I don't even have to think about this.
well, while you're thinking, I'm going to
Okay.
share something cool
I'll
that happened.
put it on
I'm
hold.
originally from Chicago, and I was down by like Lake Michigan, and something came in. They said it was called like an ammonia front. Have you ever heard of that?
Whoa.
I'm
No.
probably going to get fact checked here, and it's very
Okay.
wrong. But it got like, it went from like a beautiful, nice sunny day, and it dropped like 40 degrees instantly, and it like
That's a low pressure
it was
system.
insane. Like it just like completely changed from like this beautiful sunny day. All these clouds came. It got like really, really cold and windy. It was one of the gnarliest
Wow.
things I've ever experienced.
I mean,
Anyway, now for some real cool weather.
I mean, if
facts.
this was a video, I could show you how to make a cloud in a bottle.
What?
But
Really?
like you'd need like a funnel
Okay.
and then you have to breathe into it,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
And then you light a match and like only let the smoke go in and
Uh-huh.
then it will form like a little cloud.
I'm gonna do
It's
that.
not just smoke. It
That's
like looks like a cloud.
That's like a Bill Nye
You can look
trick.
up. Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty dope.
What kind of cloud is it
Inspiration.
in the bottle?
It's not like a nimbus or anything.
It's a cumulonimbus.
But that brings me to the lenticular cloud, which is these clouds that look like flying saucers. They actually look so creepy and they
Really?
form at the tops of mountains.
Okay.
Wow.
Why do they form up the mountains?
Condensation. It's like it's so perfect.
What are the chances that they reference lenticular clouds in Sex and the City?
That's
my
what I was
gosh.
wondering.
Well, listen, in the last episode that we did, our friend Mark, who's an actor, he talked about like the character he would be if it was on Sex and the City. Then we watched the episode, and it was a dude with a Southern accent that wanted to be in a relationship with Samantha. And that's exactly what he described before. And not only that, but he knew the actor that got it, and he was texting back and forth with them. And it was the craziest coincidence.
Called
So
shot.
I feel like this could be
This is going to be about
clouds.
meteorologists. Yeah.
It might
What's the
really be.
description of the episode?
It's called Cock-a-Doodle-Doo.
Okay.
Which maybe it's about
Cloud-a-doodle
oh
do.
my god.
already. That's like the morning sun coming up. There's weather.
Cockle-doodle
I'm-
do like do.
There you go. Maybe it's
There
Like
we go.
dew point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's your dew point?
It says Carrie and Samantha deal with noisy neighbors. Miranda Sphere's takeout lady laughs
Oh
at
my
her
god,
for
noisy
ordering alone.
neighbors.
Noisy
there you go.
neighbors.
That's the story of my life.
All right. Well,
well.
I am the noisy neighbor.
really?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go watch the episode, and then will you talk about if you want to, when we come back, maybe faster, you can talk about your landlord
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever happened.
It's not a landlord. It's the one right below me.
Oof.
We're gonna have some noisy neighbor talk.
Oof.
Perfect. That would
All
be
right,
a
cool.
great segue. All right. We'll be back.
Let's go watch it.
Bye.
Episode 48 Cock-a-Doodle-Doo. Carrie meets with Big for the first time since his marriage ended. Miranda gets frustrated when she thinks the Chinese takeout girl is mocking her stay-at-home lifestyle. Charlotte moves back into her old apartment and gets an uplifting visit from Trey in the middle of the night. Samantha feuds with the raucous transsexual prostitutes who conduct their business outside her apartment at 2 a.m. And now, back to the boys.
And we are back.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
How you doing, roosters?
What is that? Chickens, as Carrie would call them.
Wow.
Here they come to snuff the rooster.
What's that?
Yeah. You know he ain't gonna die.
Oh, that's
It's Alice in Chains,
yeah,
the rooster.
yeah.
Here
Any chain heads out there?
Not familiar with that.
Really?
Nope.
We'll have to bring that one. We'll have
That's
to bring that
actually
in the
a
pod.
tune I recognize. I don't recognize many tunes.
John doesn't recognize many tunes.
I recognize that one.
Would
All
you
right.
say that you're up on music and you know your tunes?
Okay, how up? Like
I don't know,
past
like
couple weeks.
not past couple
Oh,
weeks.
geez.
Past
I'm
couple
talking
weeks
like-
is too
That's
up.
yeah.
No, let's say like past couple years,
Okay.
and then let's go. I don't know.
I mean, that song's what, 95, 94?
Yeah, that song's mid 90s.
Yeah, I
so
was
that song's like a
dead then.
25-year-old song. You weren't even
Yeah.
alive then.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
John, can you give us a rundown of this ep? I feel like there was so much going on.
There was a lot that went on. I'm gonna try my best. The through line was the problem isn't them, is it us? If the problem's not them, is it us? It's kind of Carrie reflecting on the last season, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, we said that this is our
Big
season
fight
3
between her and Miranda
episode.
because they ran into Steve and Aiden. Shout out Steve Talk coming back.
Oh, Steve.
And they got in a little fight because Miranda said that Carrie was being pathetic, needy, and insecure, playing the victim. Carrie snapped back saying Miranda is so judgmental and yells. So they got in a little fight over that. Carrie also ran into Big again, or Big called her, and they got together at the boathouse. Where was that place?
Yeah. in Central
Boat Basin,
Park.
Central Park
Central
Boat
Park.
Basin. Yeah.
Trey and
Crazily overpriced there.
Trey and Charlotte
Really?
kind of flushed things out with what happened with their relationship. He kind of realized he never really wanted to marry her, but just thought that he should be married
After he
they
gave it to her.
Yeah, they did it.
Oh yeah, they got back.
Finally.
And
They got back
lastly,
and he
Samantha
laid the tray.
Samantha was getting a little bit of some beef with some transsexual individuals outside of her apartment, which
pre-op.
Pre-op.
yeah, pre-op
Transsexuals.
transsexuals, and that was an interesting little thing. She got a little upset with them, and then they made up and had a party at the end. So like, pretty disjointed episode, I guess. Like everyone,
There's
like
a lot of stuff going on.
kind of
I would say-
facing down their, like reflecting their lives, examining whether like their problems are their own or others.
A lot of stuff going on.
I don't know. It was a weird episode. We'll talk about it.
There was that. There was roosters.
It was like a
Is this an unplugged version? Oh, there it is.
That's not unplugged. That's Jerry Cantrell and Lane Staley.
Jerry Cantrell, Kim Cantrell's brother.
Kim Cattrall's brother, Jerry Cantrell.
Jerry
Guys,
Cantrell.
look up Alice in Chains and listen to The Rooster. Just what a 90s grunge powerhouse song.
They,
All right, let's dig in.
So I will. Here's before, because now I'm already anticipating your score, which it's not about the score, it's about the journey, which we're happy to be on.
That's right,
true.
man.
But I will say this: I
Tell
think
that to an Olympic athlete, though.
Yeah, dude.
so.
It is about the journey with an Olympic athlete.
Journey before destination. Shout out to Wave King fans. The one of you that is listening.
Is that
It's an
another
oath.
90s?
Oh no, you don't know Wave King? Wave King's such a good grunge band. Okay, I would say this with the episode. There was a lot going on, but I think that there was a maturity in the writing
Yeah.
for it not to just be like, we're talking about one thing. Here's the thing.
You
So
think
the-
that writing was mature?
Well, and
All
also,
those
listen,
transsexual jokes? That
hold
were
on.
I'm
very
not. We're
tasteless?
talking
We gotta
about
talk
different.
about that age.
different
Yeah,
level
times
of
have
maturity.
changed.
That is
Absolutely.
definitely.
The acts, the different like cultural references through
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. The two, like within 2 minutes, there was like the woman who was like, they're roosters. I'm not going to use an accent.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Oh, the
Yeah.
there's an Indian woman.
Yeah, there were
I
like
believe she was Indian. Yeah.
two Asian references.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that was fast.
And,
Yeah.
Well, it is funny because there, and we've talked about it a bunch before, but it's like everybody that loves this show will say, they're like, there's like complicated things with like the way it's aged. I would say this one would probably win the award for like least well aged.
most age. This would
Most
win like the
aged.
most.
There's a
This
lot
would
of
win like
age
the
things.
2011 full-bodied Merlot.
Yeah.
Most aged.
Oof, I would love
Oak
to
barrel.
Taste, I'd love to
Oak
taste
barreled from wherever Merlots are from.
that. Well, I mean, listen,
France.
from lots of places.
I would say,
But don't
the,
get 'em from
the first
California.
thing that
That's what I'll say.
strikes me is like, I bet at the time they were like, it'll be great to like go to meatpacking district and then like have these characters that are in the meatpacking district. But it was like, what's that rule? What's the rule about like if every single scene, if the character, if the female character is just there to support the male
it's
character, what's it called?
The Ben Shell test.
Yeah. Yes.
Is it Benchel?
I think it's Bechtel or Benchel.
Is it the bechamel sauce?
Unaware.
I think it's the bechamel sauce, which is a cream sauce. That's in cooking. Sorry. No, I think it's the
Fake
Benchel
carbonara.
test.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I
whatever
think
the
it's
test,
the carbonara test.
whatever that test is, it's like you can, and this will tie back to one of my other notes, but it's like if a female character is just there and you know nothing about them, they're just there for like, to just be like, go get them. And then the guy achieves his dreams. And it's really funny that watching this, sometimes it can be annoying to like process everything and be like, is this person support or they're a fully developed character? But those characters were clearly there. Like we barely know their names, anything about them. It's just like, we've got some transsexuals on there and they're sassy and they're goofy. And you know what? There's a little more going on. And
the Bechdel test. It's either Bechdel or Bechdel-Wallace test.
Okay.
But it's a measure of the representation of women in fiction.
yes.
Yeah.
And
There
so
you go.
And
Nice.
what I think
Nice.
is
Good
kind
pull.
of funny about that, which I wrote this earlier, is the manic pixie dream girl is definitely part of that. And like Garden State are these different characters that are like,
Yeah.
they're just there so that Zach Braff can be like, whoa, you're a little wacky. I love you. And you're like, what the fuck is Natalie Portman
Right.
in that movie? And there's something to Steve that is a little bit manic pixie dream boy. I wrote that down and showed it.
Yeah. You showed it to me when we were watching.
There is something about him that
Okay.
he's just this perfect guy that I bet so many girls are in love with. But it's like, what if there's this guy who all he is a bartender. He's just a good guy. He's always just doing his thing. He's always and
He's
there's
got some crunchy noodles he needs help with.
There's something about him that's like too perfect. That's like that he doesn't strike me as real all the time.
That's why they gave him sideburns.
Wait, what do you mean?
Thick ass sideburns.
Oh, you don't like you're coming down against the burns,
that was
huh?
a note of mine.
What's
Oh
it
my
say?
gosh.
What was your
Just
note?
Steve's sideburns.
Wait.
Singular sideburn. I
You're
don't know.
not feeling
too
them, huh?
much.
No, I was just my eyes were drawn to them even when he
Do
was
you-
talking about the crunchies. I
Do
was
you-
like sideburn.
Do you think that was a moment of the time? Because this would have been late 90s, early 2000s. That was a more sideburny
sure.
time than we are in now.
It instantly made me think, oh, okay, everyone must have had sideburns then.
But you know what's interesting
Like,
as
this
well?
is a statement.
While we were watching the show, I almost wanted to ask you to be like, hey, because like for the listeners out there, you're wearing some very cool,
Very
I think
stylish
those are
lady.
velvet. Are those velvet pants?
Intergalactic, yeah.
And they've got gold. They're black with gold stars all over them. They're
Can't forget
very
my clogs.
they're very cool. And you got some Dansko clogs. Those Danskos?
Support first.
some Dansko clogs.
Emily second.
I feel like we're back in a clog. We're back in a clog time now. And so you have a cool stylish outfit on. So I was going to be like, notice some outfits. And I love them. What you noticed was Steve's sideburns.
first.
That's an outfit. Yeah,
That's
for
an
sure.
outfit, yeah.
I mean, I'm
It's a
rethinking
choice.
my own.
Yeah.
If he shaved his sideburns, he could collect all that and then knit a nice sweater.
Ooh.
It was a nice.
Between
Ooh,
his
just a chest
sideburns and his
sweater.
chest hair, he
Yeah.
can have a nice sweater going.
But
yeah.
You're right now. Steve passes the sideburn test, but he doesn't pass the Bechdel test.
No, but you're right. He is a little bit of a manic pixie dream boy. But that's kind of, there's part of where I feel like Miranda deserves that a little bit. She might need that to get out of her. Miranda's like more rigid, whereas Zach Braff, like I felt like needed. Zach Braff in Garden State needs like an ass kicking. Like, and he gets like a gentle ass kicking from Natalie Portman to get him out of his funk. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Also, if you're ever in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, there's a restaurant called See. It's a Thai restaurant.
Uh-huh.
It might be called
What?
See too. SEA. It's on North 6.
Yes.
It's across from where it's on North 6, right off of Bedford. But it's been there forever, for like 15 years, and that is in Garden State. When Zach Braff is the waiter in that like douchey restaurant in LA,
That's it.
they filmed that at See. Ty.
That's
Oh.
funny.
There you
There
go.
you go. There you go. A little film knowledge for you.
Well, yeah, I think, I think you're right. We definitely had. This is definitely their most diverse episode, and a swing and a few misses.
A few misses as far as how this is aged.
I
Absolutely.
think they were definitely like, why would we waste having an Indian doctor when we can just be like, can you just
Yeah.
do
Even the
how
thing,
do your parents talk? Like it's pretty cringy.
Even-
And the server.
What would have been the solution though for the restaurant scene? Like
of
just
the
like-
server of
Yeah.
the
Well, what's the
I mean,
solution?
maybe not screaming. She was like screaming.
Okay.
yeah.
It was, yeah.
There's a
it was really
weird-
playing the stereotype.
It was playing the stereotype. Oh, yeah. So like I've heard this episode referenced before where it's like, oh, there's the episode that's like a very New York thing where Miranda's takeout restaurant knows her. Like
Yeah.
she realizes that her takeout restaurant knows her,
Yeah.
and that's like very New York.
Yeah, Domino's knows my order.
Really?
Oh yeah.
From the
Pineapple,
tracker?
bacon.
Wow.
What is it?
Pepperoni, bacon, jalapeno, pineapple.
Double sauce?
Pineapple.
No
pineapple.
way.
You get
It's the
extra
best
sauce?
pizza. It's,
I
it's,
always wondered
Wait, what is it?
who
Pepper-
loved pineapple.
It's
on
the
their
best.
pizza.
I don't love pineapple on pizza, but I love it on that pizza.
Oof.
So I do love pineapple on pizza.
Wow.
Okay.
It's the best pizza. It's
I had Domino's last week for a cheat day, and it fucked up.
dude.
6
it
days straight, I
dehydrates you.
fucked me up.
Every time I have Domino's
Like
on
the
a
bowels.
I
Everything.
felt everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
I had
Wow.
headaches
I
for
did-
2 days.
I
yeah,
did that.
I had it last night because I did my cheat day. We're doing the same diet. It's no big deal. And I feel like I'm gonna die right now. I'm looking at you smiling, but inside I'm
Okay.
I'm dead.
I mean, I'm coming back from a lot. I had food poisoning twice in 10 days.
Oh no!
What
10
happened?
days.
What happened?
But the second time was at Pizza Beach. Like, I
Oh,
had
Pizza Beach in the Lower East Side.
Oh my God.
You got food poisoning there? Shout
well,
out to
I don't-
Pizza
Yeah,
Beach.
I know.
Pizza Beach.
Shit.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Pizza Beach.
I mean,
That's
cook your
I
shit.
mean, I was like
Hey.
I was like that pervert who got a pizza without red sauce. That's my fault.
I don't feel like that's your fault.
I do think that's perverted though.
Yeah, I know. If you're not in a real Italian place, you gotta get you can't get a
Yeah.
white pizza.
Try pepperoni, bacon, jalapeno, pineapple.
Okay.
You know what?
Here's,
Okay.
here's another great thing
It
is
was a
all
lot.
of those
Yeah.
are very easy to take off. So if you
That's
don't
true.
like pineapple, you can take them off.
I'll say
if you
this.
don't like hold on, Corey.
Okay.
If you don't if you don't like jalapenos, you can take them off and still have a fantastic
Okay.
slice of pizza. Go ahead.
Can I go?
Noted.
Cool. No.
I also saw Corey drink honey straight from the carton today.
This is true. John and I, before this podcast, you got here and John and I-
Crasdale's, not.
Wait, also honey in a carton.
this card.
Oh.
He was literally
Oh my God, I thought that
chugging
was
this-
whiskey.
No,
Nope.
this is Costco honey. And he was
John and-
walking out of Costco chugging this.
John and I exited Costco. I took the label off. John and I were in a conversation at real estate, and I turned it up like it was a thing of malt liquor, and I just started guzzling honey from it and didn't miss a beat. And John just started laughing. I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just."
It was the
drinking honey."
most hardcore thing I've ever
you
seen in my
okay?
life.
I'm fine. Listen,
Yeah.
I've got honey producers in my family. We talked about it earlier on the
Yes, you
podcast.
really.
I will go ham on some honey. I love honey. Honey. Here's a fun honey fact. We got to get back to the episode, but honey.
Honey fact.
Thank you. Honey fact for this episode: never spoils. Honey is the one food that will never spoil.
Honey fact.
Okay, and now we're back. Sex in the City. Sex in the City.
Oh man.
Ooh, we've covered some ground.
All right, so honey fact.
So episode's a little all over the place. Doesn't age well, but I will say,
Just like this conversation, it's going to be all over the place, like the episode.
it's true. That's very true.
Honey, Bechtel test, transsexuals, and we're
Sideburns.
Sideburns. But I kind of feel like they went so many places in the episode.
Oh yeah.
Emotionally, the emotions were there. Everybody had an emotional. You had an emotional connection to each character, maybe minus Kim Cattrall, but like you kind of never do.
But to me, there wasn't like any emotional performances. Like there wasn't.
Okay, let's.
Okay, let's unpack
Let's
that.
How do
dive
you
in.
not? How do you not put the Carrie Miranda fight as one of the great scenes of this
That-
episode?
Okay,
That was
I
It's a
want to
very
apologize.
emotional
I was thinking between like all of the guys, like Charlotte and Trey, they kind of like laughed about it. They were in like a mature place where they could like realistically talk about their relationship, where like no one was screaming or getting hurt or crying. They were just like, they like reached the point where they could actually discuss it. Same thing with Carrie and Big. Same thing with Miranda and Steve. It wasn't like the episodes in the past where we've seen like Miranda get hurt by Steve and
I
crying.
know, and I also, before we go further, I want to frame this real quick where this is the final episode of the season. And
Yeah.
a lot of
Most intense
times,
season.
it's what? It's the most intense season, but it's also, I don't know how they wrote this show, but if you look at a lot of other shows like The Wire, The Sopranos might have been this too.
Oh, yes.
The episode before is always the penultimate episode is always the one where things are super high. And if you think about it, Carrie got mugged last episode. This episode is the tie-up episode for the season. So like, if you think about it, no one's going to see Sex in the City for 4 or 5 months after this.
Yeah.
So they got to
So they
tie.
don't want like.
So
okay,
they got
that
to
makes
cool.
a
They got to
lot-
cool down some things. They got to tie up some loose ends. You got to
Dude.
end your season.
That's what happened with Breaking Bad. is
TV fact.
This third to last was the
TV
after, and then they had the 2 episodes of epilogue. But Let's go. We got to go one by one with these things to get
Let's
into
do
the
it.
scenes.
Let's
Can
do
we
it.
first go to
We got so much going.
Miranda and Carrie?
The fight.
The fight.
And I would like Katie. What was that like for you to watch? Were you invested? Did you
Okay,
think they were both being stupid,
yeah.
or were you like, okay, this is like
That's a good question.
friendship?
I mean, I'm looking at it from a stupid perspective because I don't know enough about their relationship.
Okay.
So I'm looking at it, comparing it to my own life
But that's
and being like, okay, I would never fight with my friend like that, first of all. It
Okay.
just didn't seem realistic. It seemed super petty.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Also just they both were giving each other the worst advice.
So you said that when we were watching it. Explain what you mean by that.
I mean, if you're trying to get someone to realize what's going on in their relationship or the whatever poor decision they're making, never call them insecure.
Yeah.
That's
Why
the
not?
big no-no.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Because automatically someone's just going to get really defensive
Yeah.
and they're not
It's
going to
gonna
like be
corner someone.
rational. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I just think don't use that word with girls, especially in relationships. They're probably insecure to begin with. And so that's just knocking them down even more.
Yeah. I will say they may not have been giving the best advice, but as far as them as characters, they definitely slung some like actual hurtful things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So the stakes were there, like watching it, because you were just like, man, they're like fucking, they're being legitimately hurtful to one another, which
See,
is
Yeah.
painful to watch.
Have
I
you?
don't think Miranda was in the wrong.
Yeah,
At
but
all.
that doesn't.
Yeah.
You're not wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole.
I
Big
don't
Lebowski.
think
Real
she
quick.
was
She's
an
not- she's
asshole
not-
either.
Explain what that's from, Kevin.
That's from
because
the
you
Big
would have-
Lebowski.
We've had that conversation multiple
Not
times.
And it's
wrong,
it's
Walter.
actually a really, really, really great thing that
It
I think
is.
of all the time, because it is true in the Big Lebowski. He's
how
like,
was
am I wrong?
How was Miranda? I mean,
So
I don't think Miranda was gentle, but I think she was also like she's at wit's end with Carrie and Big. How else can she?
I disagree with you totally, and I usually like your advice, but here's why. Because Miranda is because
Are you calling John insecure? Because don't
No.
do that.
no, because
John's
usually
insecure.
Bro, I will walk out of this thrift store right now. I will walk out and I will not call you. I will order Chinese food and hang up.
I will check my
And then I will
voicemails and I'll
go
be like,
share noodles and hot and sour soup with Steve.
got pretty good.
there's no voicemail from John. Oh, it's because my mailbox has been full for 2 years.
You're one
Okay.
of those persons.
Okay,
Yeah.
continue.
But this is what I would say.
Advice
that,
from a person that doesn't clear their mailbox. Go ahead.
is that a lot of the times what you get annoyed with Carrie or different characters are things that they did. In this case, you're getting annoyed with Miranda's advice for her speculating on what will happen. So she has not given Carrie an option to go have lunch with him.
Okay.
She's
First
just,
of all, Carrie flat out lied to Miranda.
and then she took it back.
Okay, that's fine. That's still a rocky start to the
Wait.
situation.
Explain to me
the
real,
same thing.
real quick.
You would have
Hold on.
lied.
Back.
Hold on. Pause real
Yeah,
quick. What was the lie?
Miranda,
I forgot.
Miranda asked if she could go to an art exhibit with Carrie on Saturday during the day.
Right.
And Carrie's like, no, I have something. I forgot what she
I have
said.
work or
I have
something.
work. She was going out with Big, which she knew she shouldn't be doing. So she felt bad about it and lied. And then she's like, I lied. And Miranda's like, why'd you lie? And she's like, because I'm going to go have Big, meet up with Big, this
Yeah.
person that's not only ruined my life, but pretty much destroyed all my friendships because I can't stop talking to him because he's such a horrible person and I act like a freak when I'm with him. And all she's saying is like, don't do that. Why are you doing that? What inside of you makes you think that that's a good idea?
Which I will say, I read an article about people in. I was thinking about Carrie or something. There was an article that was talking about when people are in relationships like that, it's stressful on their friends. Like they're like, it's stressful on their life, but it's very stressful on their supporting friendships.
Dude, all we've talked about is how Carrie just hijacks every single situation to tell her friends how miserable she is about Big. Like, I'm sorry, Miranda had an obligation to tell her not to do that. And then Carrie, of course, freaked out and started labeling Miranda. I don't know.
What'd she say about Miranda? I forget.
She said she's like judgmental and mean and yelling.
She
Which
did say she's
True.
judgmental, which there's some truth in that.
there is some. There
A
is
good
some.
friend doesn't judge
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
like that. I mean, she could have approached it differently. She could have been like, the classic, is it worth it?
Let me work
List
it.
of po-
Let me work
yeah,
Thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
reverse it.
It's
If you
Yeah.
gotta
Let me search it.
Ah, thank you. Finally, something from when I was alive.
Ooh, that hurts. That
That
hurts.
does hurt. That was rough. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, but as a girl,
Yeah.
Yeah. The only one.
I
in the
would
room.
not have been having that. I would have kept doing what I was doing, and I would have like gone even further out of spite.
Oh, like you, like Carrie, like you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
This is why I have had friends recently in those situations.
Yeah.
I've had friends, I've been in that situation. And the thing is like the people that do what Miranda did immediately get cut out of your life, not actively, but just passively. You just like,
Yeah.
if you look at your friend, then you just look at your phone and you're like, here's the person that I would like to connect with on this. And usually it's not the people that are just lying to you that are like, that person's great. They
Right.
treat you great. It's usually the person that you're like, fuck. Like,
Yeah.
I know I can't talk to my sister about this because I talked about it in my show, but like when I was on off in my relationship, I went to my sister because I'm like, there's no judgments there. But she wasn't like, you're being so smart. You're being so, she would.
Yeah.
And so I think the way that Miranda goes about it is just she's right. But it's like, okay, that's why she's going to go talk to Samantha or Charlotte about that instead of Miranda, because it's like, cool, they all agree on the same things, but they approach
Yeah.
it differently. And the way Miranda does it will isolate her from Carrie, whether she likes it or not.
I think the hard thing is that I think you're absolutely right. It'll isolate her. The hard thing is, and who knows how this show ends up, we kind of know, but like it's going to play out. This isn't like in life. It'll play out however it needs to play out. Whether if Big and Carrie were like in our circles, we'd be so lucky. But also like that.
It'd be easier to get them on the podcast.
We could get him here. We could talk about like what was happening when you fell in the lake.
So why the color red?
Yeah, come on.
yeah,
But-
psycho.
But yeah, it's going to play out however it's going to play out. And you're right. You just kind of choose the people along the way where you're like,
Yeah.
I want to talk to this person that's going to support me, or I can handle this level of truth. So I'll talk to this person, which is why maybe she would talk to like a Samantha or someone like that, who's going to be like, honey, you know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
But at least it would, but also I think what's interesting is you've seen earlier, I think in this season, Carrie and Miranda had that one. Miranda's the first person that Carrie said, I'm cheating with Big.
Yeah.
So it's revisiting their conversation mid-season where she's saying that's the first person she broke the news to.
What did Miranda say back then?
Carrie said, I think Carrie was like, I need to tell you two things. I'm smoking again and I'm sleeping with Big.
Yeah. I mean,
And then Miranda, I think wasn't super judgmental, but was just like, okay. But she wasn't supportive. So this is that
then
coming
she's
to a
like, you
head
got to
again.
stop.
I think she might have said that. She might have said that earlier. I forget.
I think what frustrates two things is Carrie bugs me because she's the type of person that probably journals about how much she values having a friend like Miranda because she's reasonable and she can always talk to, and then she never listens to her advice like that. That's just like, don't have a friend like that. Like, listen to Miranda.
Yeah.
You have her in your life because she's your smart, reasonable friend that can challenge you. But she never does. Second, her relationship with Big is not just a bad relationship. It's a chaotic mess that is destructive to her and people around her. And she needs to run away from that relationship as fast as she can.
Wait. Okay. Keep going.
Carrie does. I mean, it is.
Or just not talk about it with her friends.
Yeah.
Easy solution.
Yeah. Or
Easy solution.
run from
You
your
can
problem.
be as like destructive as you want, but like just don't take it out
but
with
it's like
your friends.
ruining marriages. It's
Or-
like hurting your.
Yeah.
It's hurting Aiden. It's like hurting you. It's ruining your friendships. It is a relationship that's so chaotic that you have to immediately lie about it when someone is asking you about it.
Right.
That's probably a good indicator that you shouldn't be in that relationship.
Let me ask you a
But
question.
sometimes
love.
those ones are so fun.
So
Ah,
fun.
dude, poison, man.
And
poison.
only talk to the friends that you know will give you the right advice.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And
be
they-
like,
just-
"Look,
Those people
I
aren't
agree.
friends. They're called enablers.
Miranda may say this, and she's a great friend, but I'm gonna go to the other friend. Who
Of course.
I want to.
agrees.
I want to flip something real quick. So Carrie, you were like, Carrie's the person that journals about how Miranda's such a great friend, but she never takes her thing. What do Miranda's journals say? When Miranda sits down to journal after a long day of lawyering, what are her journals? Or when she,
First of all,
when she gets up in the morning to journal, she has some coffee and she journals with her cat.
What's so weird about Miranda is she journals in Microsoft Excel.
I'm going to fill this cell before I go to court today.
I feel like, as someone who journals most mornings, I feel like
You're
Dream journal.
journaler.
I feel like Miranda would like commit to being like, I'm going to journal every morning for 3 months. And every morning she's like, what is this helping?
Yeah.
And then she gets to the end of 3 months. She's like, yeah, it didn't progress me in any way. I could have been using my time in a better way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like she would have a few insights, but then she would be like, it wasn't 100% worth my time.
Yeah.
I feel like what was more worth my time. I feel like Miranda's the kind of person that would try, not over and over, but she'd try like 3 or 4 times in her life to get into meditation, and it would
I
never
was
work
just
because it would,
about to
and it would
say that.
stress her out more because she'd be like, I tried to get into meditation because someone told me I need to do it, and I can't do it. But she would, it would work in reverse for her.
Yeah. She'd be like, I knew it was stupid, and this only proves
Exactly.
that it was stupid.
Exactly.
Do you journal?
I used to nature journal.
What's a
Like,
nature
I
journal?
knew the sunrise, sunset every day. I knew the
Whoa,
wind
you
direction.
like science journal.
Science
was-
journal.
Yeah. It was more just to like notice like, oh my God, there's like a little bit more dirt on the sidewalk than there was yesterday.
Wait, when did you do this? At what time in
This
your
was
life?
from like 10th grade
Okay.
of high school
Uh-huh.
until senior year, freshman year. But then it got very hard to keep up. The wind direction was confusing in Boston. The sunset was not always 1 minute longer than the day before. It was
that
tough.
is so funny.
That's so interesting.
Was it helpful? Was there any, looking back at it now, was there anything that you benefited from that you?
Oh,
like,
yeah. I mean, it's kind of meditative in
Yeah.
the same sense that you're more aware. You're able to slow down and notice random things like a squirrel that's a little slower than the other squirrels.
Yeah.
Or, you know.
Maybe it awakens you to your surroundings in a good way. Gets you out of your head.
Because you'd read it and you'd be so disinterested. Like, this stuff is just...
Yeah.
What was your process for doing that? Like, you would go outside and write down what was happening? Or how would that happen?
It was at the end of the day.
Gotcha.
So before I went to bed, I'd process random things, like
Interesting.
something that stuck with me.
That's
and
cool.
then I'd just like... It could literally be like this one branch that like had like crossed my path, and the whole paragraph would be about it.
That is
But it
super
was mostly
cool.
like the moon phase in the corner. I'd have moon phase, sunrise, sunset, wind direction, temperature. Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's
That
really
is-
cool.
That's a journaling that I could get behind.
I feel like that would be a Jon Sieber journal.
Absolutely.
My
So much of my
journals-
journal is just like what the fuck? Why?
You know what's
what?
how mine is so much that it's just vomit. It's like so much word vomit. But then what's
But
crazy
it stays in my
is
head. If I get it out, then I'm like,
Yeah.
it's
Do
over.
you know what would be really
So-
funny? Sorry, you go yours.
The
first.
only thing I was going to say is Kevin and I did this
I'm
thing.
excited.
Oh, I don't want to talk about it. But
Do
Kevin and I did this thing called the Artist Way, which is this workbook
the best.
for artists. It's actually great. It's how the book Eat, Pray, Love got written.
Treating yourself like a precious object will
make you strong.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Listen,
Define how to go about that.
I will tell you that I had that taped to a mirror in my apartment for a year. Oh man, I'm turning
that.
red now,
Dude,
So
yeah,
so
okay.
I'm
You just
cleaning
My
out.
wife's
Washing your
going through it
face.
right now.
I'm legit
great.
blushing.
I am too. I'm legit blushing. It's
Yeah,
not
your
the red
face
wine.
is as red as that microphone. Hold on. I need to get
Baptize
a quick
yourself
picture.
every morning.
There's definitely that, but it'd be like baptize yourself in kindness and understand your own creative power. But like so the thing that. But so I'm cleaning out a storage. I have like a bunch of stuff in storage, and I today started to like go through to clean that out to move into this apartment, and I found this thing that was an Artist Way thing, and it's called Make a God Jar, where you have to like write out your concerns and then put them in this jar and be like, something will take care of these things. And what's funny is there's a video project. It's a short film that I shot with a couple people years ago. And I'm always like, I gotta freaking finish this thing. And that always comes out in the journals. And then when I was cleaning out my storage shed today, I found my Artist Way God jar. And I was like, what is in this? And I pulled out all the things I'd written. Oh my gosh, I can't believe the world is hearing this story now. And it was that video that's been like 3 years in the making, this short film. And I was like, oh, I'm editing that 2 days from now.
Oh, that's so cool.
But but the whole point is that every day you vomit out those same things. Whereas like you're writing the moon phases. Why am I not just writing the direction of the wind all the time?
I don't care if anyone sees it too. It's
yeah,
not like my
exactly.
deepest,
And now I just told
darkest
everybody
moon-based
about
secrets.
my like writing out about my dreams.
I liked it. I'm glad that you shared that.
Listeners, we're big into different diets. We're big into different emotional health things. So we'll figure out a segment for that. We'll say all the different programs we do, because I feel like we're always all on three different programs.
Yeah, you guys are on the same diet. I'm not on that diet right now, but we've been on the same diet before.
Come on board. I was thinking that it would be really funny if in an episode of Sex and the City we could see how all the girls, like, Carrie does her journaling, and that's in every episode. If we could see Samantha's version of her writing down notes, if we could see Miranda's, if we could see Charlotte's,
I would love that.
It would be really funny.
Anyway, speaking of Samantha, she lives in the meatpacking district and pays $7,000 a month for rent in the year 1999 or 2000. So that is insane.
What?
No way.
She said that she was like 7,000 because she has these pre-op transsexuals yelling outside her window that she's so mad about.
Did you hear when she said something about dark circles and she was referring to their assholes?
No.
What? No.
I mean, she did say, she's like, you guys know about dark circles, unless I'm putting the thing on that, but I'm just like,
I thought that was more of a thing where it was like, hey, I'm a lady, you're ladies.
It was right after she made a bunch of
assholes.
Like, they kept on saying, what was the thing they were saying? Up the ass. They kept on saying
they kept up
the ass players.
Are these anal references prevalent?
No, it's all in this.
It was just this one episode.
And it's definitely like, like those just don't play great.
Yeah.
It's not even, it's just like, I can't even imagine that at the time being funny. It's like a little too intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
I agree.
But yeah,
that whole storyline was very cringy for me.
Yeah.
It was cringy, and it's weird because like it kind of goes into we got an email about
what'd be cool
this.
is if those characters like were in all of season 4 and you like, chances are they'll just be like,
This is their first time appearing.
It's the first time, and they'll probably never see it again. But you're right, it would be really cool if somehow that was like a random character, a friendship. But yeah, I feel like this kind of goes back. We got an email about this, but there's the one episode where Samantha dates a black dude, and his sister is a chef who runs a soul food restaurant. And there's a whole thing where like Samantha is in black culture.
Yeah.
And it ends up being really weird and it doesn't age well. And there was a little bit of this where it's like Samantha is like relating with the transsexual guys, but like it doesn't, that whole thing, like, it's weird because it's like it's all on Samantha's terms the whole time, and I think that's the part that doesn't.
They
age
always
well.
throw it at her but she's the character
she's like
that
the
is the
brassy
least
one.
developed of the 4 too, that can just go into a situation and be sassy, but she's never treating, even with her guys. She's like, even her boyfriends are never fully formed.
Even that one dude that she was having sex with when
he was like a definite
and we
hunk.
didn't even get his name. I don't think
power hunk.
He was
sweaty,
so
very, very glistening.
That's one thing. The sweat ratio of her to hunk.
No,
That's something.
No,
only
not
someone
real.
who took a nature journal could really recognize.
Yes.
No
The sweat
sideburns on him.
ratio.
Yeah, that's one moon phase to be written down.
Well, Katie, we do something very special in this podcast. We do a podcast within a podcast. And today is a very special day of this podcast because it's the return of one of our favorite characters, Steve.
It's a favorite time. It's a favorite guy. It's Steve Talk. Miranda.
All right, welcome to Steve Talk. This episode of Steve Talk it's going to be a solo episode. It's going to be Steve telling the barber how he likes his haircut and the sideburns.
Well, but is it a solo episode? Because I feel like we got a barber right here.
Oh, it's a double play.
Do you want to be Steve's barber?
You want to be Steve's barber?
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
So he'll be playing Steve.
Okay.
You're the barber, and here's the
Okay.
song.
Hey, Frederico. So I'm going on a double date with my buddy Aiden. I hope it's only me and him and our dates. I'd hate to run into somebody else I don't want to run into, but just in case, I know you kind of see that I got a little facial hair here, and I don't know. What do you think I should do with it?
I don't know. Maybe we should give you some burns.
You mean burns on the side, Frederico?
Yeah. Burn it to the ground.
Oh, hey, I gotta say, I kind of like your attitude. You know, that's like, that's really forward thinking. Just burn it to the ground. Like, I don't know if this new relationship's gonna work or not. I gotta say, my heart's really been put out there a lot lately, you know?
Yeah, well, how do you think your hair feels?
Oh,
Think about that relationship.
you mean like the hair to my face?
The relationship between what's on your cheek and the top of your head.
Wow,
Gotta maintain consistency.
I never even thought about that. That's wow, there's a reason you do what you do.
I know.
Get those clippers out. I think it's ready for me and you to go to haircut town.
It's a
Yo, wow.
It's Deep Talk Miranda.
Wow.
Katie Tutrone bringing
Katie
Francisco
Tutrone.
fully developed.
We might need to do Francisco
Is that
talk.
actually? Oh, is Francisco actually a character?
No.
Oh, yeah. He is now. I mean,
Yeah, Francisco is fantastic.
Francisco was sort of based on my barber, who is his name is not Francisco, but his name's Federico, I think. And I've been to him a few times, and I feel like you just like upped him a million. It was amazing. That was great.
Can we cover? That's good. Can we? Sorry, I'm in the moment. I think
That's good.
instead
John-
of pointing
John-
and being
John
like, we
was
got
giving
it.
I'm showing
this is
Kevin
radio.
how long we've gone. That's good.
That's good. Okay, what I want to know is we got to cover, because this is one of the biggest wrap ups that is wrapped up forever, which
So much.
is Trey and
Charlotte?
Yeah, I
And
don't know if we're
Charlotte.
going to see Trey again.
So basically, Trey and Charlotte, I don't know if you knew this, but they fell in love, got engaged, got married. We're waiting until they were married to have sex, and then they got married and they still didn't have sex.
So you couldn't get it up.
That's what they thought, and then he could.
And it turned out, and it was like an emotional ED. It was like a mental thing where he like couldn't get it up. And then tonight,
So it's kind of wild, because I have sort of like not a pet peeve. I do have a pet. It's not a pet peeve, but it's something that makes me sad, that like when the end of a relationship is there, and then like what did they were just so like bantery and like
Yeah.
friendly. It
Happy.
made me really sad, because it doesn't feel necessarily true to Trey's character, and I feel like maybe along the way he could have been written a little better, because I always joked about how much I love Trey, even though I didn't. But it
You tried to
was
start a Trey Talk podcast within a podcast.
Trey Talk. It got canceled
It
within
would just
like
be
the
you
first.
saying, alrighty.
Alrighty, but there was something to their ending that it's like, oh, they finally did it, and it's like, oh, it's over anyway. But there was just something about that last scene that it was really good. But I don't know, there's something sad to it
do
too.
you feel like it took the teeth out of Trey? And what I mean is like, it made it to where it was like, I mean, I liked the honesty of him being like, I don't know if I ever really wanted to get married, but I really liked you. And
Yeah,
that's why I did it. And then, but then it kind of being like, there's something that feels, I don't know if it's cheap, but there's something that feels kind of like a little bit of like him being like, well, we finally had some real sex. Like there's something that feels a little cheap about that.
There is, I will say, him saying, I just didn't want to get married actually makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Yeah.
I could
How old
totally.
is he?
Probably, I would say late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah.
That's kind of where a lot of the guys fall in this.
Yeah.
And he's like
he's
pretty successful. He comes from a rich
Comes from
family.
money.
But
I can tell by the comb over.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, there's just something about that I was like, man, like, I guess that makes sense. I wish he was a little more fully developed along the way to be able to see that, because he definitely was. It's like they wrote a great ending to a not great character.
I see that. Yeah. I totally see that. I think I agree. I think he's a really good character, because he is a character in the sense that it's Kyle MacLachlan playing this guy that's like, alrighty. Like he's got so much weird development going into him. And then you're right, it kind of is just so simple that it's over. And then Charlotte is like a little conflicted, but kind of okay. So
I'm going to come out with it. I don't think Trey was real. I think Trey was a figment of Charlotte's imagination this whole time.
To get her over her fascination with being married?
Yeah. I don't think that Trey was a real character. I think she made him up. And I don't know if any of the other main characters really interact with her at all.
With Trey?
Yeah.
Were they at... Oh, well, Carrie was at her wedding.
It was just her.
I literally think he's...
We got to write this and put it on Reddit.
I 100% think that Trey was made up. It was what you're talking there. Like he was not flushed out. He was just kind of like what she thought she wanted. And he was just a device used for her to grow up a little bit, to level up.
To kind of like shatter her illusions of a perfect marriage.
Yes. That's why they never had sex. He wasn't real. He didn't exist. You heard it here first.
What if there was like some shot and there was like something that like every single time
he went in front of a mirror, it was like gone.
It's like when you watch Sixth Sense again, but you know the twist at the end.
Spoiler alert.
I just said when you know the twist at the end.
I've never seen
say
Sixth
what
Sense.
happened. Well,
So
you
good.
should watch it now and know there's a twist.
Yeah, I'm going to look into this a little bit more, but I
We
just
should
kind of
make
thought
that.
of that. I don't think Trey was real. I think he was made up.
I
Wow.
actually love that. And I feel like we need to go hard into that because
I'll lean into that.
it does.
Lean in, Cheryl Sanborn.
we know if he
What's her
comes
name?
back?
Cheryl Sanborn.
I can tell he doesn't because this is one of those shows that is before TV was perfected. And it doesn't mean that there can't be better TV shows, but like
The writing's on the wall, guys. His mother's name is Bunny, and the only thing that Charlotte ever hooked up with was the rabbit. It's all there. It's all there.
Gosh.
And that was her. The last scene with her and Trey hooking up was just her
with the rabbit.
With the rabbit.
wow.
The writing's on the wall.
Have anything to do with roosters too?
Yes. I don't know how yet.
Cock, bubble, do
Yeah, Trey's not real. I'm going to see if that fan theory's out there anywhere.
Yeah.
All right. That being said, I think we need to go and do our Cosmo rating. I
Man,
feel like we missed a lot. Because
We
there's
missed so much in
There's
this episode.
so much in this episode.
So one thing we do every episode is that we rate the episode 1 to 5 Cosmos. The Cosmo being the cocktail. So we rate it 1 to 5 Cosmos. You can do half Cosmos and quarter Cosmos. So think about either in everything you've seen in Sex and the City, or just if you're looking at this, whatever, just rate it 1 to 5. We'll give you a second to think.
Yeah.
And we will
Katie,
rate
what
it
we
ourselves.
think, can I just throw one question at you that's
Yeah.
on my notes? And I feel like we got to
Throw
get to it
Throw it
because
at
I feel like it's so outside of our thing. You said, I wish I could have Carrie's volume.
Her hair.
her hair.
Okay.
Did you think I meant her voice?
No, I didn't think that. But do you have any hair comments about that? I just
As a barber.
Yes, I was fascinated by it. I think when I was younger, I didn't like her hair.
Mhm.
I really remember that. I think it was because my hair used to be really curly and wild.
Mhm.
And you want what you don't have. And now
Yeah.
I'm like so jealous of her hair because it's awesome.
Yeah.
Can I ask you another non-volume question?
Okay.
But can you do like a 30-second fashion rundown of this episode?
Yes.
Because we talked about it a little bit as we were watching.
I was all around very impressed. Things that stood out. Well, Carrie dominated on every front with
Yeah.
her outfits.
Strong.
Plunging necklines. Like she obviously knows she has great collarbones.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Like is also
I've never noticed her collarbones.
I haven't
I'm
either.
gonna have to remember that.
Mhm. She's also just jacked.
Yeah,
so-
she's jacked.
And even when she is
Insane.
wearing a long sleeve shirt, it's very tight, so you
Mhm.
see the definition.
Mm.
I mean, even what she wore to her lunch was,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know, not your normal lunch outfit.
Yeah.
Like that was just like sucked in. Let's think. Charlotte, they really just like frump her out until that final scene with Trey,
Mhm.
Yeah.
where she all of a sudden like even you made the comment, like, you're like, wow, everyone looks great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it was that moment that I was like, whoa, Charlotte just like took a turn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was really appropriate what she was wearing for that scene, like that silky dress.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And her hair was kind of like,
Yeah,
yeah.
tousled. Windswept. Let's think.
Miranda, any fashion notes for her?
I mean, she has a similar chest area, like build to
Yeah,
Carrie.
true.
So they wear similar outfits.
Yeah.
Also plunging.
And then Samantha.
Samantha is just like playing into her character for
Yeah.
every scene. Like,
Yeah.
little like dinky lingerie, small tops.
Then we got the rooftop.
And then we got
And
that
then the
rooftop
rooftop. When Carrie is using that offensive accent,
Oh my god.
yeah, she
I
was
was
totally
like,
just
"What
like,
is that?
you're
It's
black.
not-
I know what black is.
I thought it was like Puerto Rican.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, I agree with
like
Jon.
it's one thing if she's good, like at like having it, like mocking them so on point, but like she didn't sound anything like that girl.
Yeah.
Although I will say in that scene, Kim Cattrall is jacked.
Stacked.
Samantha,
Straight up
Samantha
six-pack.
is. I mean,
Are they
all
like
of them.
this for the whole season.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
They all are in like incredible shape the whole time.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
We need to do so.
So our Cosmo rating, we're gonna get to the Cosmo rating. Think about yours. Our Cosmo rating. You know what? For all of season 3, we're at the last episode of season 3. We'll do a season 3 wrap up. But our Cosmo rating for this whole season has been sponsored by Absolute Elix. Absolute Elix vodka. It's the best vodka to drink on a roof at the end of a season.
It's the best liquid to drink. Period.
I would say period. Yeah. It's the
Full
best
period,
liquid to
full
drink.
stop.
Okay.
It's the best thing you can put in your body.
100%.
And if you guys are going to be
1000%.
hanging on a rooftop, guess what? Right now, we're straight coming into spring. It's rooftop season.
It's rooftop season. Go to absoluteelix.com. Go to absolute.com. Look up Absolute Elix cocktails. Get some cocktails for your rooftop.
Go to their Instagram. Go order some of their copper cups. They're beautiful.
They're great.
And
Make
you know
some
what?
mules on your roof.
Make some cocktails and drink that on a roof and send us a pic.
Yeah.
Send us a pic. Tag it. Send it. We'll send it to Absolute Elix.
Mhm.
Do it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Absolute Elix.
Thank you, Absolute Elix.
All right.
And we're doing our
Cosmo rating.
All right, so we'll count
Let's do
down
a sp-
ours.
we'll do a
you
speed
hold on to
rating this
yours.
time.
Okay.
Speed rating.
Speed rating. Everybody get. You want to?
Oh,
you want
geez.
to count it down, or you
Yeah.
want to set name them?
3.
3, 2, 1. 4.0.
5.
Wow.
What'd you say?
4.5.
I said 4.0. You said 4.25.
4.25.
I'm always higher.
I'm gonna give it a
Oh, you're
4.0.
using points. We
Yeah.
get specific.
Yeah,
half
yeah.
and quarters.
It was a good episode. But I think I don't know exactly how to describe what you were talking about, like the penultimate episode, but I feel like some of the air was let out of the tires compared to like what we saw previously. It was like pretty easy to take down and digest. I did like having like those really nice civil conversations between Big and Carrie, between Trey and Charlotte, between Miranda and Steve. But Samantha's storyline was just so poor and like not great and cringy that I can't give it any higher than a 4.0.
I give it a 4.25 because, and this is mainly because I thought you guys were going to give it that, and I was trying to get the same one. No, I thought they were landing the plane, and I thought it was a smooth landing, and it was not my favorite episode, but there's a lot there. I thought there was a lot of depth to the stories besides Samantha, but that's kind of always the case. And it was nice to, if the theme of this season was rocky relationships in their different forms, it was actually really, really cool to see, I don't know, maybe a little bit of denouement with each one of them, with Trey, the end of that, and with Big. I don't know. It each had its own like, all right, that's nice. And we've been through a lot of emotion with these people for the past season. So I thought it was really good. And at our wrap up, I'm just have to say it right now for you guys. At a wrap up, we have to do a full on, we need to look at this season at all that happened, because I feel like it's been insane. And we didn't even get to talk too much about Carrie and Big and the red wall thing, which I feel like that is just, you couldn't talk about a bunch of stuff with that. So
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 4.5. As always, I'm always like, I could readjust, but 4.5 because I think we're at the end of a season. And we didn't get to talk about it because we went off on a lot of great different tangents, but there's a lot of things that happen. We didn't really even talk about the fact that Miranda and Carrie run into Aiden and Steve on a double date.
Aiden.
That's a huge thing that Aiden was there and they were on a date with other women.
And he wasn't even giving her nothing.
Yeah. No, she was like, she talked about Pete, his dog, all this stuff. Aiden gave her nothing.
He had some like pirate facial hair.
He did. He did give her something, which is
attitude.
A beautiful goatee.
He did give her that great Johnny Depp Pirates of the Caribbean goatee. So that happened, and then Samantha's storyline was definitely cringy. It was definitely cringy, but there's something where it's like it could have worked. It just aged poorly. I told Kevin during the episode, I was like, man, I wish we would have had a Paris is Burning conversation. There's a documentary called Paris is Burning about the gay black drag scene in the 1970s and early 80s in New York. Go watch
So
Paris is
interesting.
Burning.
So good.
We'll do a Patreon where we discuss
We will
Paris
watch
is Burning.
Paris is Burning and do a Patreon episode on it.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a great documentary. But there's a ton that happened. Miranda and Steve at the restaurant, the Red Wall, Carrie and Big. I think as a final
Shout out to
episode-
Brian Jocks.
Shout out to what?
Brian Jocks. He wrote the Red Wall series.
Shout out to Brian
Any
Josh.
young readers out there?
There we go.
Martin the Warrior.
Yep.
Mateo.
All of those. Yeah. So fantasy novels, love them. So I think that being said, they crammed a lot in the last episode, and I think they did a good job. I mean, if you think about the fact that we saw Big again, we see Steve again, we see Aiden, you see all the guys, you bring back the fight of Miranda and Carrie together, and that was the first person you told Big about. They have a fight, they make up. They tied up a lot of loose ends. I think they did a good job. So 4.5 from me. Katie?
I'm gonna have to. I was between 4.0 and 4.25, but I'm gonna go 4.25 because of
The sideburns.
the overall.
Okay.
Because I was so impressed with Carrie and like all their characters. Like honestly, the style too.
Yeah.
Like that was a huge winning point for me.
Yeah.
That I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
But there's so many different storylines that I thought were kind of like dated and like not realistic. One thing that kind of bothered me was that Carrie kept being, at one moment she was laying on the bed and she was like, I can dwell over a girl, not just a guy.
Yeah.
She said something, or like my friend. But like it's so ironic because the only reason she's fighting with her friend, the one time she's not talking about a guy, is actually because of a guy.
Exactly.
So it's like,
yeah.
It's just, exhausting.
Yeah. It is. It truly
and
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
4.25.
4.25.
So we're all above a 4 though.
Yeah.
You're a 4.
Yeah.
I'd say
4.01.
I'd say that our average is like a 4.3 for this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
Well, guys, Katie, where can we find you on social media or just anywhere?
Well, as we mentioned earlier, just that seriously yesterday. That's my
Seriously
Instagram.
yesterday.
Huge important weather updates. I know
It's great.
you all are
It's great.
dying
Lots of
for
weather
it.
updates on.
Can we do a
Instagram?
Bradshaw Boy? Can we do a collab? Throw it up there.
Yeah.
That'd be
Let's do
so
a-
fun.
Let's do a collab.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I don't really know what collab is. And
A
I'm-
collaboration.
Collaboration. A
A
collab.
Bradshaw Boys weather vid.
Laboratory or
A
like
collab.
yeah. Innovation lab.
Also, hey guys, shout out to Weather Journals. Shout out to The Artist Way.
Shout out to
Dude, journaling in the mornings.
If we got fucking Julia Cameron on
Listen,
this
Julia
shit.
Cameron, if you end up listening to this podcast, she wrote The Artist Way. We'd love to have you on.
I want, honestly, anyone listening, if you've done The Artist Way, please message us.
Please
Also, go on iTunes and please give us, or any of our places, and rate us. But on iTunes, I feel like it's usually the most important. We got, from our last episode, we got 14 different ratings, which is awesome.
woo.
We're in the 200. We have
Nice.
209 5-star ratings.
Wow.
And then we have 1 2-star rating.
Can we read well, we don't have to now, but at some point we need to read that 2-star rating.
well, it's just a rating. It's not a.
Do you think that was one of us
review.
at the Apple store going through the iPads and we accidentally slipped?
pressed it differently?
Yeah, probably.
I'll say this. Please go. Seriously, please do go and rate our podcast and comment on it. But if you really feel strongly about giving it a 3 or less. I'd say less than a 3. If you want to give it a 2 or a 1, write a rating as to why you think that, and we'll read that on the
Absolutely.
podcast.
Yeah.
We want to know why we're a 2 or under. It's
We're not
very
scared.
interesting to us. We're not scared. We'll take it into account. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Katie.
Fantastic.
Thanks for having me.
Season 3, what a
Season
roller
3
coaster.
in the books. We'll do a review, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
The Bradshaw Boys stars Cory Cavin, Jon Sieber, and Kevin James Doyle. The show is produced by Jeremy L. Balin. For more information on the guys, check out their website at bradshawboys.com, on social media at The Bradshaw Boys, and if you see them in the street, tip your glass. Thanks for listening.